right, everyone. Okay, so sometimes I think it takes a little longer for this shit to go live. So, sorry about that. I always put not for kids. Just to be on the safe side because I like to like just let shit go. When I'm talking, I don't like to overthink too much. That's the problem. Start overthinking when you're talking. Like my friend goes to me, "Oh, be careful what you say." Okay, good, because they say I heard this by Wayne Dyer. It's really interesting. Doctor Wayne Dyer passed away a while ago, but a lot of great insights. And even though he wasn't really like a warrior kind of mentality, but he did talk. And I told you guys about like he says about stuff going over your head or really it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody gives you a compliment or a derogatory put down, which usually solicits your reaction of anger. Everybody likes when somebody tells somebody nice, "Oh, thank you, it's so sweet," and then somebody says, "Well, you're," and you're like, "What? What'd you call me? What'd you say about me? What'd you?" Such a fragile egos that most people have because they're not trained. They're not trained to be able to handle. Nobody tells you this. Oh, okay, when you're a kid, what's that saying? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. It's a it is true. Of course, that's true, but that doesn't like teach you mental strength. And that's like I know the topic of what I said. This is equating chess ability to combat. That's what I call this. And I'm going to relate my own personal experiences to this. What happened to me last week to what happened when I, thought I had some game in chess. I was going to get in. Now, I was interested because I stopped playing pool like in 2006. I played in a national championship in Las Vegas, and I practiced like I wasn't brand new to playing, but like tournaments are a different story. It's different when the balls are out. You're supposed to be kind of like a machine. Like when you get really good, you have to run out, whatever game. Like it's easy to get out. Like if you're good, but the problem is you don't understand. You say, "Oh, I'll just practice by myself, practice all alone." I would go and I practice. I thought, okay, we'll practice on 9-foot tables for a bar table. 8 foot, 7, 3.5 by 7, smaller tables in Las Vegas. And okay, the truth of that was like, yeah, everything's going to be smaller, but it's still going to be everything's going to be like, condensed, harder, in a way, easier you would think, but it's just not about pocketing balls. It is, but you have to look at the table. You have to understand what's going on here. If you have a run out, yeah, you just have to make the shots and it's over. But there's a thing called defense. There's a thing called safeties. People can do shit. They can jump shots legally. There's things you can do. There's tricks of the trade in everything, in every game. And this is the problem with this. I see all these places around me. They got all these private boxing classes everybody's taking. And it's like, I'm telling you, it's like I know why their people are taking it because they're the celebrities or whatever. They're thinking, okay, well, if I know how to fight, and I'm on the street there, I build confidence. And if somebody picks on me, like then I can just, I can punch, like hard. I could get away. Like I could hurt somebody. Well, here's the problem. Like the boxing comes with rules. Okay. Now, I'm not against boxing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But let me tell you something. Like, wouldn't you want to have like, in your tool shed, let's just say I told you like, okay, you got, this big piece of wood or, a tree thing. I gotta like, take this thing apart, for either firewood or use it for different things. Well, think about this. In your tool shed, if you just have like one saw, like you could cut it up. How are you gonna make mulch out of it? Like, how are you gonna use? You can't. You can only cut it like one way. You can only make it into like one thing. You're limiting yourself because you only have one saw. You can only do so much with it. You know, that's what boxing is when it comes to self-defense. It's just having one saw. Like you can't. There's not multi-purpose. You can't do everything with it. You can't make it into this. It doesn't teach you how to knee somebody in the groin. It doesn't teach you how to put your hand into somebody's eyes. It doesn't teach you how to block, like certain martial arts. And this is the problem. You just limit yourself into doing this one thing. like Shotokan Karate or whatever. I was watching him. What America's Got Talent, this thing is this great Taekwondo people. Yeah, it's like gymnastics, like a show and stuff. They're great with these flying kicks, and these kind of like technical punches and stuff like that. I was like, wow, it's great to watch and everything. But it's like just one style. That's all you're doing is one thing. I guess, in a way, martial arts, I put it higher than boxing because it's like you're using lots of things. And I see like defensive kind of stuff that's interesting. But then I'm learning, like, dude, like a street fighting is not, there's no rules. So like, you can't, like, God help you. If somebody tries to do something like at you, like, and you're thinking, well, I know like Taekwondo, so, I'm expecting him, his kick to come like this, or his punch to come this way, or some type of thing. Like, I don't know, like what it is. But Bruce Lee said, it's good to know know all the arts, everything, if you can. Why not? Why limit yourself? What are you doing? Like, now the thing is, I want to get into this. I want to make a relative point before I start equating chess, to fighting, competing or whatever. Now I have a friend, like he texted me yesterday, and he goes, I was telling him I'm practicing, and he's all right. He's got, his own issues, his own problems and things like that. But he said he equated like, the Cobra Kai thing yesterday to me. And he just goes like, yeah, Cobra Kai, strike first, strike hard, strike fast, thing. And I didn't want to like kind of explain to him. I didn't want to like begin to see, and this relates to Bruce Lee thing. You're talking about a movie. Now you're talking about a TV show. This is not reality, okay? It's almost as silly. You have to understand something. It's almost as silly as like what I said about the Batman TV show. If you go back, I forget which episodes I talk about, ridiculousness, if I did or not. If you ever seen the 1960s, late 60s, the Batman TV series, with Adam West, Burt Ward, whatever, and the Penguin, whatever, all the Joker, and they got their goons with them. These guys, they're all like, and they're just like, there's nothing special about them. What happens is, the Batman, and the goons come, right? And the goons try to like, get one in on Batman or Robin like that. Now, whoever comes in there, like, every once in a while they might get lucky or something like that. But here's what happens. There's like, let's say there's 5 or 10 of them or whatever, like 8 of them. And like they're all running at them, right? And Batman just like, pow, he says, pow, blow, he's like, they're kicking their ass. Let me tell you something. If in reality, if somebody, like, let's say there's a group, right? I'm generalizing. There's exceptions to everything. But in reality, if somebody comes at you, right, and they see this guy can fucking fight, you think the other guys are going to keep coming? Like, they're all going to get their ass kicked. They're going to fucking run. They're not going to even think. They're going to instinctually they're not going to hesitate. They're going to run, okay? Because they're gonna see, like, this guy I'm gonna get my ass kicked like that guy in front of me. I'm not going into that. But here's the problem, like the ridiculous nonsense, because it's a comic book, TV. It tells you got to make things ridiculous and campy for it to be exciting, for it to be entertainment value for people to watch. Isn't that funny? Like, yeah, these guys just keep coming, and these guys are just beating the shit out. It's like funny, it's stupid. And what happened is, though, people got a little bit smarter over time. So you have to get a little more creative. So you have to make things a little more interesting, like the movie, like the Karate Kid and Rocky or whatever. You have to make things a little more believable, because that's the way people, like, their intellectual level has gone up, but their entertainment, that what they need to watch really hasn't changed. They continue to watch, but then they're equating it to that. So my friend goes to me, yeah, Cobra Kai, yeah, Cobra Kai. And I couldn't, I didn't want to, try to explain, because it's probably too far over his head to kind of like for him to get the understanding here. That's a TV show. This, you're thinking, the mentality, well, say strike hard, strike first, strike fast. I mean, do you understand? Like, yeah, that's not how it works. Things have to look good on camera, like, things like that. It's not And you know, the mentality of that movie, like those guys were bullies. You know, and picking on a guy, like, you know, it's based on a true story. The guy wrote the script, you know, for the original Karate Kid. Those guys that were training, you know, in the dojo and everything, and they were like just bullies, and they picked on that guy. They all got their ass kicked by older, you know, Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi. Remember? It's like the idea of that. It's not about the fighting. It's just a moral thing about like this guy, like he's trying, he likes this girl, and you know these guys, you know, they don't like him for whatever reason, but he finds out like what these guys train, and it goes to the sensei, that guy, that Martin Lacrease, whatever, Martin Kove, played it great, you know, fucking real strict, you know, his mentality was like that. But what he didn't teach those kids is to, you know, that art is supposed to be, it's respected, you know, like it's not to be used in the wrong way. I mean, let me try to equate this. There would be like a great chef or something. I don't know, like, you know, he's using these knives and everything. And there's people that go out there with knives and do bad things. So, you know, you can do good. It's like with fire. You could do good things with fire, you know, cook food and everything. And there's people that do awful things with it. So it's just like the martial arts. You know, it's a thing to build confidence, to protect yourself, you know, to strengthen your mind, your character, all these things. You know, it's not to be like, you know, unloaded on somebody, like, you know, to teach them a lesson. That's not what it is. And in these stupid shows, you know, you don't understand. The people that watch these things, they're thinking, yeah, I want to get into this because of this. I want to do this doing it for the wrong reasons. You don't understand. You know, there's a difference between self-preservation, you know, and watching, relating to something to the only person that you see. Everybody says, the Bruce Lee was the greatest. He's the greatest. He's only, because you don't know anything. You only watch movies. You probably don't even know who trained him. Of course you don't, probably. If you do, okay. Maybe you know Ip Man. But you don't understand. You're equating something to a fantasy. Because he's on television. He's great and everything. An entertainer. He's really good. Yeah, I'm sure. You think he's the only one? You think that's how I learn? By go watching like his movies, like his scenes and everything like that? So a lot of people do. They say, wow, look how Bruce Lee did it. Yeah, I'm going to practice that way. I'm going to practice like that. Or I'm going to, like, you know, go take a, you know, karate class or something. Or boxing, like I told you about the boxing nonsense. I mean, it's not nonsense, but it's close to, it's not enough, nothing. You have to, you know, you have to understand everything. Is that really going to come in handy? Maybe. Some better than nothing. Zero is nothing. Especially if you're trying to do what I'm trying to do. You're going to get altercations. There's in anything in life. People are, you know, they're going to try to stop you from everything and anything that you try to do. I have news for you. Whatever it is, I don't care if it's a business, there's going to be competition. You're going to be threatened by your presence. I don't care if you're trying to go up and talk to women, there's going to be dudes that are going to try to box you out. Not box you out, but they're going to position themselves out of the equation. They're going to use verbal trickery to get you out of there, to push you down and out. Maybe they study a little bit. Like they say, hey, okay, you know what? This is how I deal with this situation. And they practice a little bit too. I don't know. But I'll tell you something. When I was like very serious in the bodybuilding, sometimes I go twice a day. I'm maniacal about it. You know, I was just fucking, you know, I'm going to get my body the maximum, absolute everything. Problem was I wasn't training my mind. I mean, it's mind of discipline, like, you know, to be able to, okay, This is when I'm going to eat, sleep. I'm going to work out. I'm going to train this body part today. Then later on, if I feel it, I'm going to go in here. If I'm not sore, I'm going to do legs again. Like I'm going to keep fucking just going and going and going and going. I like challenge myself that way. And then I would get like these books. I don't know. I found stuff like from the 70s. In my opinion, you know, it's like, yeah, I understand we're new technology, new stuff. But some of these guys, these bodybuilders, are back in the day. Not just Arnold. Everybody knew Arnold. Yeah, okay, he's one guy. Everybody knows Arnold, but nobody even knows like who came in second or third in the Olympia in '75. I know. It's like my friend Chris. You know, he goes, "Oh yeah, it was Lou Ferrigno. Yeah, he was in it too. Yeah, it was Lou Ferrigno in the movie. Who came in third? That was on stage right next to those guys." Yeah, I don't even know. Of course you don't know. Because you don't study. Because it doesn't mean that much to you. You don't get it. You know, bodybuild, and you don't know the history of these guys that set the the foundation for everything. That's like saying you want to teach history and you don't know like anything. You don't know like really. Oh, you can't. Anybody can look. If you think you're going to be a history teacher, and you don't know, like somebody says, hey, can you tell me like what was like the most important event that happened like in the 1920s, like in America or something? Can you tell me? And a history teacher would say, hey, yeah, I'll start. What do you want to know exactly? I'll just start. You just start going, and it'll be endless, like until that guy, the students, I had enough. Like it's enough already, because that person's qualified. They're passionate about it. They know. The guy that came in third was Sergey Nubret. If I pronounce it improperly, I misproperly said it. I apologize. He's from France. He was from France. He's a bodybuilder. Black guy, but just great shape and everything. Like this thin lines, but just his portion is. The only reason he didn't win is because of Arnold and Lou Ferrigno is fucking huge. Okay, or else he's a serious threat to the crown. It's incredible. Guy would eat like a pound of horse meat or something. I remember like a day or something ridiculous. Because his genetics is like skinny, like black people, like a lot of them they don't have like some of these guys. They're thin frames, so you had to like go against, work against genetics. And let me tell you something. I've stood next to Lou Ferrigno, maybe like 16 years ago. Of course, he's not like he was in '75, but he was still working out when I happened to be at the Beverly Hilton for this baseball benefit thing, and he just happened to be. I don't know why he was there. He wasn't there for the baseball thing, but you go to these high-end hotels. Sometimes you'll see somebody walking through or something like that, and he's fucking big, both in height and in size. I'm really surprised that Arnold won that year. Okay. You knew like the only reason probably Lou Ferrigno did not win is because bodybuilding is like rigged. Competitive bodybuilding is created by Joe Weider. Okay. And Arnold's Weider's boy actually went to Austria. If you look at that movie, what is it? I forget, the Bigger or something, where it's like it's not about Arnold. It's more about Joe Weider. He created this industry. He drew like this guy, like he had this vision, and then he heard about this guy in Austria. His bodybuilder, young person, and like he went there. Remember in the movie? Watch. It's like raining. It's like this kind of garage thing, and you see like the guy like supposed to be Arnold, and the guy that plays him looks kind of like him, and he's like just doing like the front thing, little like you would never have gotten out of there. You never would have been. You never would have been anything. Joe Weider like saw, he said, "I will bring you to America. Like you're gonna be like," it's like a recruited him kind of. I think if it's true, I saw it in the movie. It might not be true. Maybe somehow, maybe he would have paid. He heard about it and paid. But again, you have to understand. Back then, there were no cell phones and everything. The computers, there were nothing. You had to like, there were telephones, but it's like in magazines and stuff. maybe some like video kind of Navy thing was coming in the late 70s. I remember like Beta and VHS was kind of starting, but it was like kind of like you had to go there physically to meet somebody or to make a meeting. To like, there's no this. And so he brought him here. And then these guys, like, they all want to try to become too. They want to be the Mr. Olympia. It's like a big deal. And this guy from like New York, is great genetics, young and everything and fucking big. And you're gonna beat him. Remember Dad's training me. He goes, "You're gonna want to beat him. I want to beat him." So, but the problem was like he's just, it takes, and Arnold's so confident because he wasn't brand new. He started. He was like beating the guys like in whatever in Stuttgart, Germany, in the contests and stuff like that. So what happened was like he's just a little farther advanced. It's not the biggest. He knew exactly. Look at his posing and everything, the way like his body, but he knows how to show it to the judges. And he said it doesn't matter if you pose like Ed Corney or something like that, but if you can't, you could have the greatest posing routine, but if you can't have a body to back it up and any charisma, you don't lose. But you got it all. When you've got it all going for you, you know exactly how to do this. It's like kind of like you're just that little bit farther ahead than everybody. And that little bit, when it comes down to the judges scoring, is all it takes to win. It's like an Olympics. Those guys that can all run, they're all fast as hell. Like the winner, whatever, the country champion from Brazil or the national champion from America, the best runner in Japan, and they all put them all there. And it's like those, those little variables. Maybe like when they fire the go, it's 100 yards. It's not like sometimes sometimes those variables kick in like that person they just didn't, they weren't prepared or they got nervous or something. Like we're human beings, we're not robots and machines. Things go wrong. I mean, I heard about this Russian athlete, this woman. She was like a judo champion in Russia or something, and like then like not just Russia, but then like she fought like won like a world title and like a judo championships and stuff, and then she's going to the Olympics, right? And she lost. I don't know if she was DQ'd, disqualified, or came in second in something. I forget. But the reason I mention this is she killed herself, committed suicide. I read about it. I was kind of like, I found it very interesting. It's like, wow. Does you imagine somebody put their whole life into this, and then they win these big competitions and they get the chance at the Olympics, which is like the grandest stage of them all for like an amateur athlete, to compete in anything. And whatever happens, she just, who knows? Who knows? But she couldn't live with herself after it. She could not, and that was it. It was like I read a little bit about it. So let me get back to the topic, which is kind of important. The equating competition in chess to, fighting or whatever, defense, competition, anything. I already talked about pool and everything like that. The reason I got into chess was because, I had an altercation, a mistaken verbal thing with the owner of a pool hall. I really thought I was going to persevere, become a professional pool player. So I was practicing 8 hours a day, every day. There's this guy, like, I forgot what his name, Mad Max. He was like ranked number 8 in the nation, or maybe the world. I don't know, the Pro Billiards Tour. He's still, man, I don't know if he was younger. I just don't remember, but he was like the house pro at Hollywood Billiards. Make his money from lessons, and then when they have a big tournament, he would just go. Like he would never win them, but he would like me. I don't know. He'd make. It's like in pool. Like if you don't win the thing, and even if you win, it's not that much money. But you have to understand, the best guys in the world, like these Philip, there's best in everything, but there's like these guys, Efren Reyes, Francisco Bustamante. Johnny Archer is American, but back then, Alison Fisher, I think, woman's, English player. So this guy is like maybe he's very, 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 very strong, but these people that I'm talking about are that much better. And it's like when you start going up that far, it's like just, you know, the level, it doesn't take that much when you're that good. It's like, you know, but that's everything. That's everything. Is it a movie? I know I'm getting a little off track, but I gotta like equate. Is it Any Given Sunday? This is Al Pacino as the coach. That last speech before they go into that, I don't know what, playoff game or something. It was like a decisive game. Like that movie, it's LL Cool J and, you know, Jamie Foxx, whatever. The other guy, the quarterback. Pacino goes, "We're in hell, gentlemen." And he goes, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. He says, I tried, you know, and then this night he's like, oh, talking about his own personal struggles and everything. And every guys are just sitting there listening to this guy. He goes, I didn't make it like this. I couldn't do this right. But this is what I know. This game is like 100 yards as a football field. And we need to go this distance to get to that goal. And there's not people, the other team is going to do everything they can to stop you. They don't want you to score. The score leads to you winning and them losing. And each yard is made up of 3 feet. And each foot is made up of 12 inches. And inch by inch, we want to win the game. Inch by inch. He broke it all down. So we're going to claw. We're going to scrape. We're going to fight to get that inch. We're going to do everything it takes to get that inch. We're going to fight. And then our guys are starting to get like, you know, getting serious. They know that's what it's all about. Because when all those inches add up, it's the difference between winning and losing. It's the difference between living and dying. Says something along those lines. I don't remember the speech exactly, but that was like the premise, the meat and potatoes of what he said. And he also said something also. It equates more to a team. Even though I'm an individual, like everything I do, I like being part of a team, but he said we can either come together and work together as a team, or we'll die as individuals. You notice that. The most successful, you know, in any, like almost anything, it's always, they're all on the same page. You know, everybody says Michael Jordan, the Bulls, Michael Jordan. But you also had other guys that were fucking, like, maybe they didn't shine like Jordan, but Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, good luck trying to rebound against him. Okay? Going up against him. He'll fucking kill you to get that ball. Literally. His problem was he didn't understand the game that had the rules. There's nothing wrong with being fucking intense to the maximum, to the max. But you cannot punch somebody. You cannot push them. You have to like understand. If he would have really like studied the game's rules, can you imagine how strong like it would be, like, you know, be like training like a fucking lion, like they would understand, like, I mean, like, it would, how dangerous would somebody like that be? Not to say he wasn't coachable or anything, but can you imagine somebody like that intense and that strong and that dedicated that could work on those deficiencies of not allowing people to get under your skin, you'd be fucking dangerous as fuck. And when I mean dangerous as far as smart, like on the court. Look what happened when Michael Jordan went to go play for the Warriors or whatever, the Wizards, Washington Wizards. Wasn't that big of an, I mean, maybe he was older and everything, yeah, but still Jordan. But one man cannot win it all and cannot win a championship as part of a team. So everybody, like, the come together. It's like a watch, you know. It's like there's components. Things have to work together. And if it all works together, it's like with great coaching, everybody on the same page, it's unbeatable. You have no chance, absolutely none. One more thing before I go back to the chess thing, just get it out of me. I played baseball at Fairfax High School. I mean, I'm not going to really get into what I went through to make it to the varsity level. The returning championship. The first time they won in 45 years. We played Dodger Stadium. It was 30 years ago. I saw the talent. There's a reason why they won a city championship, the 3A city championship at Dodger Stadium. Do you know how many baseball teams there are in the city of Los Angeles? All the county, the LA County, which goes all the way to like as far northeast as Chatsworth, like Newhall, and then all the way down to like Long Beach, San Pedro, to the border of like Orange County. Schools I never even heard of, like Narbonne High School. I don't even know where the fuck that is. I heard of it. You can name any of the Garfield. Okay, I think I know where it is. You start talking about these places that are like, where is that? Within Los Angeles County, but Los Angeles County is big. And there's a shitload of high schools out there. And a lot of them have baseball teams. Okay? And there's 100 schools or something. I don't know, you know, in the CIF. They all want to get to Dodger Stadium to play for the championship. That's the thing. It's a dream. And I looked up like the history of it, and I said, well, you know, Fairfax, I haven't even been close. So 19, whatever, would I say, like 45 years or something? 1945 was the last time they were there. And then in 1990, when I was on the JV team, well, suited up for the last game of the JV team. I mean, it's a long story. The thing is, I practiced with those varsity guys every day I could. And they haven't been back since, is my point. That coach, our coach, Cal Badger, he retired like a year after, I think in 92. He coached from the 70s, okay? And the talent kept getting better and better and better and better. Guys, coaching was like, I don't know how to equate it. I wouldn't say like military drill sergeant thing, but it was, in a way, yeah. But it was like efficient. There's no bullshit. But he didn't like put our faces in the dirt, kind of like in the ground kind of thing. But it was like just no fucking around. Baseball. Defensive drills. Offense, whatever. So when I go to the gym, that's in my mind. That like no fucking around thing. 99% of people in all these gyms, that's what they're doing. They're fucking around. They're fucking around with these trainers. Best people of all. I know, I hate it's dumb, but what do they think they're doing? They don't understand. I'm not saying the trainers are dumb. A lot of those trainers, you know, they were ex-athletes. So, they were, I sometimes, there's this one guy in the gym. I don't know. He's a big guy. I don't even want to know. I see that he's got a ring on or something. Maybe he played college football, maybe pro. I don't know. Not to say just because you're a trainer, that means like you know everything of everything. I don't know. I got into it with one. I told you what happened with me in the gym. Some of these trainers, I'm doing my exercises and they're trying to bother me in the middle of my set. That you can't wait. What kind of person is that? And then when I would get, before I started to become a better, like a more of a smart warrior person, I'd engage these people. Like, what the hell is fucking the matter with you? Can't you see I'm in the middle of my exercise and you're telling me to stop? That's when I learned that you can't teach stupid. Maybe they weren't trying to get a rise out of you. Maybe they were. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The point is they're not learning. And they managed to pull you down to their level or whatever. They managed to get a rise out of you. That's like saying someone has a control, the force over you because of their stupidity. Let them, what was that? What did Kirk say? Let them die. Now, don't take that the wrong way. I didn't mean it in like the, I don't know, metaphoric sense. I meant it in the sense that don't worry about them. Let them go. Who cares? You're going to engage these people, these idiots? Let them die. You don't say that, but that's how I deal with these people. I don't engage them. They're nothing. You can leave, you can always win, but somebody to put downs and everything, you can just look at them and tell them in a calm thing and say, I'm sorry. I cannot have an intelligent discussion with such an immature person. And just walk away. And that person, you don't even have to tell them. They know they are. And they'll be punished in life for their immaturity. The society will punish them. You don't have to. It's not your job to punish them. They're going to learn the hard way. And it's going to hurt. When they try to go out and find a job or something, they can't control their emotions. You're gone. They will pay. They will pay. It's not your job to make them pay. They cut you off in traffic. It's not your job to enforce the law. They will pay. Not by your hand. What goes around comes around. It always, always does. It's amazing. You would think some of these people, like they would be, desperate to learn, desperate to change, It would be like, can you imagine somebody getting hit in the head like a million times? And then they say, hey, I'm tired of getting this happening to me. I'm tired of this happening to me. What can I do to stop this, But a lot of people, they just won't humble themselves. They won't reach out to somebody smarter than them. They won't give them the credit and listen and take the time and understand. Wow, why is this person what do they know that I don't? They won't. They'll just they're too whatever. I don't know what's their limited beliefs. I have this friend. I mean, it's a borderline acquaintance friend. I guess he had the same problem with the gym like me. he canceled his membership because of it, and he's like, I think he works out in the park or something by himself. I don't know. I think so. He can't deal like with people. Like he can't. And it's like what he doesn't understand that I do, because I had the similarities here. Because I used to be extremely combative. Anybody say anything, I stand up and it's like, I want to know, like, hey, I would try to like crush these people intellectually. But what I didn't realize, I'm wasting my time and energy on them, when that energy needs to be focused toward my own goal. They're diverting me. Where I need to go is that way. And those people are pulling me away. They don't want me to get there. I need to get there. That's where my money, that's where the money is. That's where the women I want. I see it. I got to go that way. And they're trying to pull me away for whatever reason. Those crabs or whatever, trying to pull you down into that bucket because you're climbing out of it. They don't want you to leave. No. They need you. They need you to be like normal. They need you to be just a normal, like them, like a nothing. Because they need to pull you down to their level. And as somebody like that really is going somewhere like that, that's something unique. That's something special. They're jealous of that, some of those people. They won't say it. They're too embarrassed. But that's what it is. That's the analogy. Think about that. Those crabs in that bucket. And you're like leaving. We got to pull this guy back. And what happened with my friend, the same thing. Canceled his membership or got kicked out. He couldn't handle it. He let them get under the skin. He let them take him off course. He's got to go to a park now to work out by himself. The gyms have good equipment. They have like, bags and stuff. You can do a lot of shit. Gym is extremely efficient, like if you know what you're doing. But he didn't, because he's not willing to learn. How to hold frame, like how to deal with people. How to get those people away. And don't, I know a guy in my gym, it's this Israeli guy, always wears his headphones, so that he doesn't have to listen to anybody talking or anything. If he's somebody using the thing, like, just say, hey, you almost done. Well, how many sets you got? Okay, just limited working with people. Like, it's just the whole thing. You're supposed to respect your fellow gym members. I get that. But the problem is, when you're in an environment where people aren't like, they're just there to be there, and you're for real, like you're whatever it is you're trying to do, people are going to notice. I don't care what they notice. It doesn't do anything for me. A lot of people don't want attention. Okay? That's why you don't see, like, in the celebrities, where there's normal people like going, they don't go there because they have money. It's not necessarily. It's partially that. But it's not all that, because they know their targets. They can be targeted. People are going to want their attention. They're going to want to, And those people are there for a reason. Now, I'm not saying the celebrities are like they're the most smartest people, like they know the most of everything. But when I mean celebrity, I'm talking about like you know, also like a professional athlete or, you know, people like that, that or just very focused. They need to be able to go and get the job done. And if they really don't know, they will seek out the best personal trainer or expert they can, and they will pay them. Now, I have my own opinions on this. I say just because, you know, you're a world champion, you know, or something, I don't know, like who's a decathlon guy? He's a woman now, that Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, or whatever. That doesn't mean that's like the best person to train you for something, or like a boxer or something. You know, I mean, come on. You're taking anything away from Whitaker or whatever, or the Mayweather, or Pacquiao, but they might not be the best people to teach you how to box. Just because they're, you know, like they're the best. There's exceptions. There are people that know how to train people that are not like really well known. But what they can do is they're like masters at looking at you and working with you and bringing out the best in you. A lot of people don't understand that. They want the time of like a Mayweather or the Pacquiao or somebody like that, or they go in and they see personal training. You don't know. You know, it takes time to figure out what does somebody know. Like you know, you have to look at what they did in their life, your accomplishments. How many people have you trained? What's your track record? How serious are you? You go ahead, you hire a trainer or something. You know, my friend called it. You know, he said it's called having good bedside manner. I said, well, what does that mean? What does that have to? What are you talking? What is that? Because I never really heard. I heard that term. I think it's somebody in a nursing home or something. You know, that takes care of you or something like that. I don't know, but he said, no, Mike, you understand? These trainers have good bedside manner, and what that means is that they're there to like kind of like, you know, not really push you to your limits, or not really get you to, you know, they might say it. They know because they want to sell something, but they're not there to really train you for the most part. They're there to kind of like, you know, sell you something because they want to get paid. And they're going to, and I see this every day in my gym. We're talking about, you know, what they're going to go, the guy, oh, yeah, over the weekend, I'm, you know, going to be going up to Palm Springs, you know, with my friends. And the guys, I mean, that whatever, something similar like that. I heard that, I can't tell you endless times. I don't know. They're talking about irrelevant things. While the trainer's like right there, you know, like, and the guy's like, and he said, okay, so what I want you to do now is, you know, this. Yeah, that was really hard. So anyway, I was like, where's the fucking mind? Goes back to talking about the Palm Springs, what he's looking forward to, or Vegas, or I've heard, I can't help it. I've years, you know, I'm sitting there trying to, you know, doing my exercise, and I could just overhear like this nonsense, irrelevant communication of things that mean nothing. When I walk through that door of that gym, like on my way there in my mind, like I'm mentally preparing myself. I said, fuck, dude, oh my God, you know, like I know it's gonna happen, like what I have to do here. And I'm gonna, it's like, I know they say, well, push your body to 150%. I don't know what a percent, I don't know. 105%. I don't know. But in my mind, that's what I try to do sometimes. If I have it, if it's in me, it's like I'm gonna fucking, it's coming out, all of it. There's no reason to hold back. I have to, like, you know, I am like dead serious. Okay. Now here's the thing. Like they do, it's just something they play some good music. Like it was kind of funny. Like look, I'll give you an example. Like yesterday, I'm training and I hear over here the music, and they played that song by like Elvis. And at first I thought it was Tom Jones, but no, it's Elvis. Somebody, arguing with this one guy because there was a show like that Las Vegas show, and it's like it wasn't a famous tune, but it was Elvis. It's a little less conversation, a little more action. All this aggravation, something, something. A little less this, a little more, a little less, a little more trumpet left at the room, and it satisfy me, baby. Come on, come on. Come on, yeah, like and I'm thinking like, like, karate, like Elvis, and I'm getting so like I kind of like I'm listening to the song, right, and then I'm just like, I'm doing like kind of trying to do the Elvis kind of dance and stuff like that, not like, though, but it's just a little bit of something I'm saying to myself, come on, baby, like, and I know this is a hot chick, I know, and she's singing, so she's singing. This guy's got some personality too. He's not like this crazy, he's not just a fucking serious trying to be some street fighter or something like that. It's so look, I mean, that's what I call balance. That's what I call a little bit of balance, okay? And you show, and I can damn well assure you, there's not that many people that have that, okay? And even that, when I was listening to that song, I was still like hitting the bag and doing the kicks like serious, okay? It's called having a little bit of personality. Everything has its place. But again, when I'm in there, I'm there for a reason. And no one there's nobody in there that is. They might say they are, but they're not. I never bring my cell phone into a gym, ever. I never have. I carry up one business card in my sweats. If a beautiful woman happens one thing, here's my card. Bring your phone into a gym. That's where I make my progress. That's where I make my gains, my thing. I'm focused. I'm not there to fuck around. Those trainers that train those people like they never go anywhere. So far, they're just they're thinking I'm paying somebody, so they're teaching me something. I don't know what they're doing. And I could look at somebody. The thing about fitness, it doesn't lie. I could look at somebody and I could tell you what they know. Pretty much. Problem is, there's anabolics now. They're very powerful compounds. These gays, they have access to that, because I don't know if the medication or they're taking, and they have friends that will give them gear and stuff like that. It's like what it does is like it pumps up, it's you know it's drugs, like it's powerful stuff. It works. So literally, you could take, just an average person, and you could like you don't even have to really work out. You can say, okay, well, you're gonna shoot this, you're gonna eat, you're gonna take this, and then hey, like try to do a little bit of this, and it's like, wow, really? That's just pharmacology, and they don't really know. Like they're not even. You understand? The morning of 9/11, which is about 20 years ago, that morning I was in the gym. That's how long I've been in this, and I was working out for years and years and years before that. Well, these people in my gym weren't even born yet. The trainers were in diapers, if they were even alive. And they think like because they have a certificate and they know CPR or something like that, like you're gonna educate me. I have a MS degree in phys ed, and then 30 years of experience. And you wouldn't even offer me like a job? You should be begging me. I shouldn't even have to ask. Number one, you couldn't afford me. This guy that I know, pizza guy, like, well, he retired, he's rich, he's got money. He's a nice guy and everything like that. But when it comes to like, spending money, if it's organic food, spend, but when it comes to like fitness thing, he doesn't know anything. And he hires like these trainers that have good bedside manner, like $50 an hour or whatever. The guy has like it's condos, whatever. I don't want to like be too specific, but like he's got a equipment in the penthouse, or whatever, in a separate room. He's got like it's like money is not his problem, and he hires these people that are like just got good bedside manner. Maybe I don't know what they did, what they achieved and stuff. And he goes, Mike, you should see, like she's like a She-Hulk and everything like that. Wow, really? Because he doesn't know what I know. That doesn't mean anything. She an IFBB pro? I mean, who is she? Well, you should see what she looks like. I don't care what that. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean she knows anything. I've seen her, by the way, too. I don't care. It doesn't. It counts for nothing. Did I say just because I have a master of science degree in phys ed that I know more than anything? I also have almost 30 years experience. I can't tell you how many. Well, let's see. I have thousands upon thousands of gym visits, and not just going there to like do this. I've documented. I write shit down. I can tell you what exercise I did or what body part I was training the morning of 9/11 because I was serious. I wasn't there just to waste time, which 99%, if not more, people are. They're just wasting time. Or they're making like these minuscule gains. They think like this. I know the compound interest, that book. Well, if you want to take you 30 years, like try to, get in shape. I don't know, lose 10 pounds. Like the 30 years, yeah, okay. So, there you go, 3 ounces a week, it's great. Or maybe a year or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what people are trying to do. I just know whatever it is I get into, I learn about it, I focus, I dedicate myself, and I'm serious. My point about that was that this guy that has all that money, I think I told him, I said, I'd made for $100, or I think that's a 150 or 100, I don't know. Like, and he was like shocked by like what I said. Unbelievable. It's things like that that keep me from even thinking about even helping anybody. Unbelievable. In my mind, like I should be like there should be a line out the door for to learn from somebody like me, like what I know. They should be like trying to throw money at me, like the stock is like undervalued. It's like I gotta have this guy. Like you gotta be kidding me. But I don't have good bedside manner. I'm not there to fool people. And if you tell people the truth, They're going to get offended. They're not going to like what you have to say. These trainers are not going to tell you the real truth because they want that $50. And if you go ahead and you tell somebody that's like, it's just, listen, man, I'm going to be really honest with you. They're going to fucking, their face is going to light up like this, and they're going to turn around and walk away, and they're going to be like, I got to find somebody else. This guy is like, this guy's what? This guy's what? He's telling you the truth. People don't want to hear that. That's it about that. What happened with chess started when I was getting into it. I played this park. There's older Russian guys there, some younger. And I started to learn. I started to read books on it, get into it, started to figure out, why am I losing? What do these guys know that I don't? Then I got a computer. I got a program where I could play against the machines all day, try to figure out, okay, well, what's going on here? What are they doing? How are they winning? And then I started to hold my own against those guys. Then I started to beat those guys. And then the only times I would start losing was they could retract their moves, So I said, why am I playing with these people? They're not serious players. So then I joined a chess club. I found out what real chess was when I started calling out the better players in the city. And I was getting my ass kicked. Started seeing these 12-year-old guys. I saw this 12-year-old Russian kid. I remember when he made expert, I gave him this keychain. It was really cool. It's like a golden colored knight, And he made master. Kept going. 12 or 13. I don't know. I have to look up how far he went from these guys. This one guy, But then I started to sink in after a little while and said, these guys are for real. I mean, if this was a fight club or something like that, and you think about this. You walked into if there was a fight club, something, or I don't know, boxing club, or a real I don't know, a place where people are serious, and you think, okay, well, yeah, I play in the park, so, I practice in the park, some stuff, I think I'm pretty good here. And you walk into that club and you go, hey, I want to see where I rank here. I hope there's an ambulance outside for you, because, you're going to the hospital very quickly. You're going to get the shit kicked out of you, and you're going to get beat up really bad. That's what happened when I went into the chess club for the first time. I didn't know what's out there. That's what it felt like, in a way. The ambulance, but it was for my mind. It was embarrassment. This is ridiculous. These guys were for real. They had titles. National Master. Paper given by the USCF, United States Chess Federation. Think they just hand that out for nothing? I have a friend, a good acquaintance, whatever, and he thinks I'll get that paper. I'm gonna get that paper. He still to this day, he has absolutely no idea of respect for that. He doesn't get it. I beat a master. That means go. Yeah, okay. I beat an expert. I held my own against one expert, something like that. Okay. Doesn't give you the rating. You haven't won a tournament. That's the thing. It's not beating one guy one time and stuff. I beat an international master once. You have to win a tournament. Period. Because that means you go through everybody in your division or whatever. That's it. If you go through if you walk out of a tournament with you win, then you know where you stand. And that's exactly what I did. Not just the American Open, but the big one for me in Las Vegas, the National. National Open is one of the biggest. It's a Las Vegas chess festivals. It was like once every year, summer, in Las Vegas. It used to be at the Riviera, but one year's at South Point Casino. There's side events too. But this year, they hosted the Game 10 Championship. It was like 10 years ago, I think. 10 minutes. It's like 100 players. They're there to play other things too. But this was still the USCF, the 10-minute national championship. I went in it. I trained as hard as I could, for it. I was like a strict blitz player. I said, but you know what? It's going to be 10 minutes. So like, I'm going to have to utilize as much strategy, but still after thousands and thousands and thousands of blitz games and everything, I think I could take down like the intermediate section. It's under 1,500. It came down, I think it was 8 rounds or something. It came down to the last round. And you could look at like the leaderboard or whatever before, and you know exactly what's gonna. If you win, you get this. If you lose, you don't. It came down to me against this opponent, this kid, this young kid. I mean, he might have been like 8 years old, maybe. I'll never forget. I think it's that. And before we started the game, he said something. He goes, if I win this game, I win $300. That's what he said to me. And I replied, I'll never forget what I said. I said, if I win this game, I'm a national champion. Start the game. And it was really hard because he was really good. He wasn't a 1,500. He was very strong. Or like I saw the potential, like I said about that Russian kid. He's going up the hill, like he wasn't that Russian kid, Robert. That it was like he wasn't going to be an expert for long. He was going to master. He was going there very quickly. Like you could just see when someone's got that focus, like that. Remember that game, The Price is Right? It's called Cliffhanger, and the guy, the mountain climber, he's going up the hill, and it goes doody doody do dee da doody doody do doody doody do doody doody do doody doody do dee da doody doody do doody doody do dee da do. It's a funny. It's like a Matterhorn. I know. I had to do it. It's funny to break a little bit of seriousness, but. So what happens is the mountain climber, and you have to guess the prices. They have to. And now the thing is, and the price is right. So you guess there's like 3 or 4 items, and the closer you are, to the retail price of the item, the whatever how many dollars you miss it by, that's the amount of the length that the mountain climber starts going up the, and it stops, and then it's like so the whole idea is to win the grand prize, whatever the main prize of the thing is. You got to be able to guess as close to the prices of the actual prices of these, like the generic kind of like items. It could be anything that's worth like $50, $30. Before now, what happens is if you don't, the mountain climber gets to the top of the thing and he falls over the edge. So it's just kind of like that's called it's one of my favorite games. That song, if you look it up, it's the game The Price is Right. The cliffhanger game. It's a cute thing. I got off a little topic, but. Okay, but I will tell you what happened about that game, the national championship. But anyway, so I mentioned about that what happened about the kid that made master, but the kid I was playing, I felt his power. Like I said, this is something here. Like I played a lot of people, but there's something about when somebody's young, if they have that Padawan, that you know, this guy's going to be a Jedi. Like, it's if he's not, he's well on his way. And you know, the question is, how much fight does this guy have? Like in chess, and this is where I equate it to that. There's a thing. There's like there is a fight in this game, in like in a slower game. I mean, in a faster game. Could be in slower too. Slower, like how much stamina do you have to hang in there? Some of these games can go hours. And that, I'll conclude with that. But so what happened? What happened? So it's getting down to this point where I think I had my rook. I think I just had my rook against, like, you know, his knight or something. And this kid started. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen somebody throw his knight. It was running. His knight was jumping around like lightning. Okay, maybe like something like a master plus level. Like it was unbelievable. And I said, God, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. I left him with that like one piece that was, it didn't matter. It was like his piece is weaker than my rook. But look, and I told you, I played thousands of games and on the computer and everything. This guy was moving at like computer speed. Like he was gonna beat me on time. There's like almost no way. And I just said, I'm not gonna give it up. I'm gonna fight. And I started to match his speed. Almost. Like with my rook. I said, I'm not gonna give it up. I'm gonna hang in. I'm gonna hang in there. And then I think he moved his knight like to where I could, like it was an illegal move or something. I forget exactly, but I remember I grabbed his king. And he goes, what? And I go, illegal move. And he goes, what are you talking about? Like he didn't get it. So I said, stop the clock. So we paused the clock. And I said, I knew how to handle the situation. You go get the arbiter. You remain calm. It wasn't my first tournament. It wasn't my first Blitz game. It was my first national championship. But still, I had a lot of, you know, experience under my belt, and also how to remain calm. Kid wasn't really freaking out. He was actually pretty calm too, which I was kind of impressed by. So the arbiter comes over and he goes, what's going on? And I allowed the kid to explain his side of the situation first. And then he looks at me and he goes, what do you have to say? And I says, you know, it came kind of heated and everything, but he made an illegal move, so I grabbed his king. So the judge is looking at the arbiter and he's like, okay, put you have to understand, although this is a 10-minute, this is whatever the time difference, said that you can't grab his king, even on a legal move. You can't. But you get an additional couple minutes added to your time. And the position is set on the board. Like the position, the prior position had to be reset. And the position was set that I could take his knight for free. There was nothing he could do. And that's exactly what I did. It took me a little while to mate him with my rook, I don't know, it's a combination of a little nervousness, lack of like tournament experience, like over many years. I don't know. I don't know. I just got kind of nervous, everything, but I knew I could get it eventually, and I did. And I won. I was curious, like whatever happened to that kid, you know, like he'd go on and become like a master. He was very good. Just couldn't really find him. Looking, so what I did was I did a deep search. You know what I did was, you know, you can go to the tournament archives, you know, and see uh, like, you know, did he ever play ever again? You know, like anything that's rated is documented. That was the last game he played, last rated game. That was it. I don't know if I retired him. I don't know. I didn't feel bad at all. I didn't have any, you know, didn't bother me. It doesn't bother me now. Like it's just, I'm just telling you what happened. Now, what happened was because of my points that I forget how many I had, I wound up tying with somebody who I didn't even play. And this guy, like he, you know, approaches me. I remember the tournament's over, comes up to me and he's looking at like I think I went outside to like the hallway or something. He goes, "You Michael Reichenstein?" He said to me like that. I go, "Yeah." He goes, "We're national champions." You know, I mean, I was like, just congratulations, like shook hands. He's like, both like national co-champions. I don't know if anybody saw that game that I played against that kid. I'll never forget it. And like, you know, people that play like in coffee houses and stuff and whatever, in the clubs or whatever like that, they'll belittle that all the time if I tell them that. Like it's nothing to them. They never, no idea what I went through for that. How hard I had to fight for that. That was the last like major like competition. I did play Southern California, like you know, after that I got second or something like that, but there's nothing. In the American Open, that one Blitz tournament is nothing. But that national championship, I'll never forget that. You know, like entry fee was like $100. I think I made like I got back 150. No trophy, no certificate, nothing. But I do have a copy of the check which says like G/10 Game 10 Championship. It's like something like it's like 10 years ago. And I just started to realize, I said to myself, you know, it's to be able to excel, try to get to that 2200. The sacrifices that this takes is going to be. This bottom line, I wasn't willing to do it. Play the long game, sit there for hours and grind it out and everything like that. I felt like it's just not who I am as a person. I have a friend and he's got like, you know, family and everything, and he just, I don't know if he really understands like what that is. I don't know. I wouldn't equate it to like just getting a black belt or something, because I think like a black belt is maybe an expert. That's what I'm using the assumptions. You know, like I'm thinking like that. You know, depend. You know, the level of progression. But anybody that's got that paper, that 2200 certificate, if they made it to national master, if they're being honest with you, what they went through to get that paper, don't even forget about 2400. Okay, whatever that times 10 or 100. I heard somebody told me what they went through to get to 2400. The sacrifice was like everything, family, everything. It was a guarantee. Cool to say, yeah, if somebody has an Olympic gold medal, or maybe a silver, bronze, or even competed. Do you know like what that means? To even get to compete, just to even get to compete to something like that. My whole life. It's a whole life. There's a lot of people, it's their whole life they put into something, and they never even. It means you're like the best in the world on the whole planet. There's 7 billion people or whatever. That's how I equated, you know, chess to fighting. That game. There's a lot of other ones too, but that not like that one. You know, there's this kid that I really don't follow. You know, like I don't really care because I don't really play. But there, I mentioned, you know, like there's sometimes there somebody, this kid, I feel the power, and I played again. I think I played 15 years. I maybe not that long, somewhere around there. And not the kid that I played. It was one. There was one kid that I played. I think I played him twice actually, and he killed me, destroyed me. And I said, no, this guy is going. This guy's for real. This guy's going. Like he's. I mean, I don't know. You never saw Bobby Fischer or anything like that or anything like that, but I saw something that I go, this guy has got it. If he stays with this, forget it. There's some people like out there, you know. I seen this guy, you know, Shane, played LA Chess Club, you know, and he beat the hell out of me when I was, you know. I even told him, you think, you know, be world champion. He goes, that's the goal. I don't even think he's, you know, maybe 17 now. So I am. He never made GM. I don't think so. He's like number 60 or something in the country. The kid I'm talking about was Hans Niemann. Hans Niemann Moak, I think was his name. I was right in some things and I was wrong in the other. I said, this guy's going to the top of the mountain. He's going to be standing on top of the fucking mountain. Nope. Not even close. He became a GM. Incredible accomplishment. You know, because I would look up every once in a while. I said, I was curious. I said, what, you know, this kid, like, I felt like this guy is, you know, I never played anything that strong before. I said, I have to see where this guy goes. I'm curious. He stayed with it. Became a grandmaster, maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago. I think he made up to, he's like number, I don't know, number 30 something in the nation. His FIDE rated like, I don't know, number 800 or something in the world. What's going to happen? He's like 17 years old. He's got to make a living now, make money, start looking at girls or something like that, or I don't know. It's like that window to get there is only open so long for so wide. Some of these world champions, they're like 12 years old, they were already GM, they're already super GM, they're already like the national champion, the world championship candidate to get up, to go all the way to like Capablanca, or, you know, or Fischer or whatever. There's a common flow of it. No one's coming out of left field. You know, just say, where'd this guy come from? All the way to the top of the mountain. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Not in chess. Magnus Carlsen, whatever. You saw this kid. There's this little Russian kid. I don't know what his name is, but they showed him on television when he was like 3 years old playing against Karpov. Like 3 years old. I think. If that. Already knows like how to play. It's already probably a very strong amateur. 3 years old. So whatever some of those guys that are delusional. I remember like some of the parents would say, "My kid's a prodigy." The kid's a prodigy. He's like maybe close to an expert at like 14 years old or something like that. I could tell them the honest truth that they don't want to hear. Because if the kid doesn't know it, he's going to find out. I call that the enlightenment. The light goes off. I wonder when that Hans kid, like if that, maybe he never had the delusions. He didn't think, because he said he beat Carlsen in a 1 minute game online. Maybe like in his mind, he's saying, "Dude, I beat the world champion. Okay, that means I'm going to be." Because he's young and everything. But I guarantee you, there was a time, a point. If it hit him, I'm sure he knows now that it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. No way. I heard there was I remember there was somebody that would work at this chess club and told me, I knew this Iranian guy or something. 18 hours a day. That's all he did. If he was eating something or sleeping, he was studying chess, studying, practicing. 18 hours a day, every day, for years and years and years and years, and worked his way up to I don't know, maybe close to super GM or something like that. I don't think he ever became a world champion candidate. Not even. There's no way. I saw this thing they were talking about Nakamura. They're studying the eye movements or something there's like rapid eye movements. Really interesting. Something they were talking about. I don't really remember it, but I just remember said that he had this type of ability, innate, like natural ability that he was able to develop. I think he became U.S. champion. I'm not sure exactly if he was a world champion candidate. I don't think he ever played, let alone I don't think he ever played, for the title. So you understand what you're talking about here. You're talking about there can only be one. Only one person can be world champion. And that person is not going to give up that crown unless they lose it. Since they absolutely have to, they're going to fight to hold on to it. Think about how many players are all trying to go up to get to that time, and the guys in the world championship, they all have to fucking beat the living shit out of each other. And that one guy that wins the world championship candidate thing, he gets the chance at the title. And then you know what happens? He's got to go up against fucking King Kong. He's gonna I think he's gonna climb to the top, and this guy at the top is there for a reason. And he's been able to basically pound these guys back into oblivion, except like last year. I just kind of curious. I don't really follow it, but I'm just kind of curious, like what happened. There's an American guy, I forgot, Karuna, whatever. Doesn't matter. Like the guy would have been like the first United States champion since Bobby Fischer. And he took Carlsen all the way through. It's like it came out to like draw all the way through, like held his own. That's like saying fighting all the way to the almost the last round. But then then it goes to like a rapid, like what, game 30 or something. And then if they draw through that, then it goes to like blitz. It was all the way through to the end. And what happened was made all the way through then to the tie break to the rapid. And it's like this guy, this Karuna guy, the guy that Fabiano, he just couldn't hold against Carlson. Just a little bit too much power. Just a little bit. That was enough. That's all it takes. But that little bit is the reason that Carlson's a world champion still. Absolutely no idea. It's like, can you imagine like what that guy knows? It was like everything. Not everything, but like just about, like he's until he just, somebody beats him. That means you're the best. And I felt just a little tiny bit of that when I played and competed. Of how bad somebody wanted something. And I was able to hold them off. And I was able to take it. It wasn't luck. Anyway, that's my story for this one. I hope you guys appreciate it. In my business, there's no such thing as luck.